But ladies and gentlemen, we wouldn't be here without Dr. Hal Dec. Here he is.
There the companions of his fall, o'erwhelmed by floods and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire, he soon discerns, and weltering by his side, one next himself in power and next in crime, long after known in Palestine and named Beelzebub, to whom the arch-enemy, and thence in heaven known as Satan, with bold words breaking the horrid silence, thus began: If thou beest he, but oh, how fallen, how changed from him who in the happy realms of light, clothed with transcendent brightness, didst outshine myriads, though bright. If he whom mutual league, united thoughts and counsels, equal hope and hazard in the glorious enterprise, joined with me once, now misery hath joined in equal ruin. Into what pit thou seest from what height fallen, so proved he the stronger with his thunder. Until then, who knew the force of those dire arms? Yet not for those, nor what the potent victor in his rage can else inflict, do I repent or change, though changed in outward luster, that fixed mind and high disdain from sense of injured merit, that with the mightiest raised me to contend, and to the fierce contention brought along innumerable force of spirits armed, that durst dislike his reign, and me preferring his utmost power, with adverse power opposed in dubious battle on the plains of heaven, and shook his throne. What if the field be lost? All is not lost. The unconquerable will, immortal hate, and courage, never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be undergone? That power never shall his force or might extort from me, to bow and sue for grace with suppliant knee, and deify his power, who from the terror of this arm so late doubted his empire. That were low indeed, that were an ignominy and shame beneath this downfall, since by fate the strength of gods and this empyrean substance cannot fail, since through experience of this great event, in arms not worse, in foresight much advanced, we may with more successful hope resolve to wage by force or guile eternal war, irreconcilable to our grand foe who now triumphs, and in the excess of joy, sole reigning, holds the tyranny of heaven. So spake the apostate angel, though in pain, vaunting aloud what racked with deep despair. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how it moves me to see that you came here in spite of the inclement weather, in spite of the competition from a large, fashionable, and popular party, and especially if you chose to shower me with your largesse for my poor power to struggle with the questions you have put in the hopper. Right. Is that how we do care?
I can keep my panties dry.
Okay, we have a bunch of questions here. They're all written in pencil.
And that's good, because we have pencils, we provide pencils, and I, Dr. Hal Dec, will sharpen the pencils with the new 130 gauge, the automatic pencil sharpener.
Give me a pencil, let me show you how this thing works. There it is. That just happened. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching a man sharpen pencils on stage.
If you've got a stubby and you want a Sharpie, just bring it up, and that's a free service we provide. And thank you for your question.
Whoa. It's the fourth song on the side one of the class's first record, but it's the bad mix one, the English mix. The English can't mix records or cook. That's kind of, it's okay.
Yes, Haas and Pfeffer is German.
How many Christmas songs? I have a side note here. Both smoke pot guys are here now.
Just listen to that. You know, we owe them a great debt of gratitude because they'll laugh at anything. I mean, anything. And a show needs that to be light and lively. Full of bounce and bumps and high spirits.
So you guys are going to sit there and smoke pot and laugh at the show, right?
Sounds good.
Wish I could sit here and smoke pot and laugh at the show.
Anyway, that's good. So
you don't understand. The audience, there's some people who've never seen the show before. You don't understand. They laugh at anything. Here, well, hold on. Camera.
Double inguinal hernia. See? How about that? Let's try another one.
They get completely stoned, and no matter what I say, hold on, what's it? Cancer.
Oh, that one's too easy. Advanced bowel cancer. Oh, it's just golden, folks. I tell you, they'll laugh. No matter how bad it is, it really helps our show. Well, let's give a nod and a tip of the Ask Dr. Hal Dec.
Why do we bother? Why do we have questions? Why do we have anything?
Because it's not economically viable to distribute marijuana to everyone in this audience.
Why don't we just get them all stoned out of their fucking minds?
Stick around for the after party. Now, those are 2 free questions that I've answered. Now, let's keep the whole thing rolling.
No. I think we're onto something here. We can just get the entire audience completely stoned, and then I'll read a Dr. Bronner's bottle of soap. And you guys will just fucking freak out and be like, whoa, I get it!
But never get any in your eyes, as I recently learned.
Okay.
It may be natural, but it's naturally bad for your eyes.
So, if you guys haven't figured this out yet, David Capurro is surfing the internet.
David Capurro, ladies and gentlemen.
And he's participating in a conversation, ladies and gentlemen, even though he doesn't have a microphone.
Thanks to a grant from the Small Animal Foundation.
Thank you. How many Christmas songs, if any, did Fats Domino record and or produce? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an excellent question.
Yes, it is. You know, not knowing the actual number, I can only answer a necessary number. Fats Domino never did anything he didn't have to do. And so I'll have to say he didn't record a single Christmas song longer or more than he had to do. And folks, those Christmas songs are pure gold. They make the money. That's why so many bad Christmas songs have been written throughout the years. Everybody aiming at that elusive jackpot of writing another, God help us, Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But it never happens because the amount of Christmas songs circulating now in the noosphere is the sufficient number, and we don't need any more. In fact, it might equitably be argued we have too many. That being the case, Fats Domino, a master entertainer as well as a musician, long ago found that he did not need the thrill of coming up with another Christmas song since he found it on Blueberry Hill.
There it is. All right, let's excuse me, I'm trying to do a show here.
Hey, I'm going through something.
The questioner wants to know what the name of the organization that was firebombed by the Philadelphia Police Department and what was their case for. Tell us more.
Well, you know, very often governments act against their own citizens. And this was a case where they acted against the group known as PUSH. Wasn't it known as PUSH? The funny thing is that PUSH, that was bombed from the air by the Philadelphia Police Department, doesn't stand for anything. It's not people under or anything, you know, it's PUSH. They came up with an acronym but no name. They were kind of crazy. And everybody in their organization had the last name Africa. Well, these firebombs falling on them killed each and every one of them except one lady whose name was, she was left, Ramona Africa. So the U.S. government threw the weight of its law and its might against her and charged Ramona, Africa for creating a disturbance and for all the money it took for the city of Philadelphia to burn the rest up in a raging inferno which spread from their building and burned down an entire city block. Your tax dollars in action, and the man in blue is not necessarily a friend to you.
Okay, now this is an excellent question we have right here.
All right.
It's from Scatman Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
It might as well be. You know, we're dealing most of the time with hip identity names, playa names, made-up names. You know, I got an email.
I hate people who have those dumb names.
People name themselves after birds or beasts or whatever. You can't tell who they are. And I got an email saying, will you please take me off your email list? Signed, Criticus. You realize I have to go through a huge column, hundreds of names long, to find out who this coy person is who doesn't want to receive the Ask Dr. Hal report. Why doesn't he put his goddamn name in? Oh well, yeah, there he is. That's him right there. Well, let's keep going, shall we?
Okay, here we go.
Boy, this money, you've heard of dirty money. The money on my desk is dirtier than any money I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to look at my fingers after touching this money.
Filthy lucre. I only saw the first 3 seconds of 2 girls and a cup. One more time. I only saw the first 3 seconds of 2 girls and a cup.
You're a poor man.
I didn't see whatever scandalous things they did. And here's the question. Can you describe what happens?
At first, I thought you were talking about the movie 2 Girls and a Guy, starring Robert Downey Jr. and 2 girls. But no, it's 2 girls and a cup. Well, what you've got to realize, it's not 2 girls and a cup, you understand? This is not legitimate activity. These 2 girls have got a cup, and the only problem is that our show is going out over radio. You forget that. I can't unleash a deluge of dripping obscenity on the airwaves without causing an FCC airstrike on our facilities here.
What should he request? Bombs, rockets, napalm, or strafing? If you advise him to request rockets, you will be right. Rockets can be used to pinpoint targets of this type and achieve penetration. Rockets having been decided upon, the code designating this type of armament is entered in the proper space on the request form. We should also consider the time element involved. And so we have a sort of thumb rule. If faced with an appropriate target that cannot be destroyed by other supporting arms, request close air support.
Radio.
Bring it on! Come on! What do they got? Nothing.
Well, first they welcome the guy in, and then they bring out the cup, and then while he's just shrugging out of his overcoat, they take the cup, and they put it right against his and then they take the and they with the and flowing back, panting and exhausted, they still have time for one which they lay against the until the comes down over the and I've got to say, this is not for children or those easily shocked, as we say in our introductory literature. Just so you know.
Oh my God. I have a $5 question here.
Thank God. All right, things are looking up. I'm telling you, now you're learning how to play the Ask Dr. Hal show.
Does anybody have an extra beer? Did anybody bring beer?
Is that the question? Because I can confidently tell you. Oh, it's not a question?
No. When Kara plays the Darth Vader theme, it means
he gets a beer. Well, I wish there was a music saying that I got coconut juice. He gets beer.
You don't have a Darth Vader theme.
Yeah, it's true. I don't. And
It's so out of control. That's so completely out of control.
Shut up, big boy.
Okay.
Okay, here's the question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, and so are these good people here. Ready?
$5 question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's for this.
That is elevated and correct.
Yeah, looking for some .com advice here. Ready? Dr. Hal.
A little late to the party, ain't he?
Yeah. Here we go. Dr. Hal.
Yes.
Got any hot tips for snagging some venture capital?
Look carefully at the trends as they happen, and above all, send for my advanced course in sex and real estate. Thank you.
How about who asked that question? I have a shot of Fernet here for that questioner.
Yeah, you've got to drink the Fernet, because if you don't come up and drink it, a terrible thing happens. We want you to come up and drink the Fernet. It will affect our show negatively if you do not drink it, because oh, I hate to see this. Oh, this is terrible. Because now K-Rod will be affected by Fernet, and you've heard the way he is even before he gets the Fernet. This is all your fault, chicken. Don't pour it before we know the person's still here. A couple shows ago, the entire first row got up to leave when we put on the monster movie. Now we lost a guy. I don't know why. Let's have the next question.
I have another $5 question.
All right. Very good.
It's a hot stock tip.
Abraham Lincoln.
I'm kidding, of course. Okay, here we go. You know that dream when you really need to pee, so you do?
I'm afraid that's no dream.
And then you wake up? How do you deal with that, anyway?
Yes, because if you're unable to control your nocturnal releases, as it were, then there's no advice that will assist you. No advice that will come from the part of the brain which is logical and ordinate to the part which is automatic, organic, and seeks relief. However, as in every other field of human endeavor, practice makes perfect. You can solve this problem. All you have to do is want to solve it. And practice your Kegel exercises and advanced bladder control. Another chapter in my sex and real estate.
Do people with no arms jack off with their feet?
Well, Chicken John, the thing about that is, people with no arms are in all economic and social classes, and the rich ones can pay for this service to be done. But the poor ones are necessarily dependent on their own flexibility to solve this essential question of need. Now, can they do it with their own feet? Sure, they can, but not at once. The human body is plastic, will bend. That is the secret of yoga. But you can't get into an advanced... Oh, Paul Pot, pick up every one of those pencils. You can't do it until you have come to that point. Not a pencil point, but a point of decision. Every now and then, by increments, per gradus ad ima, you come closer and closer to the point where that and many other things are possible. But you must be patient. However, all the time that it takes to learn the trick will result in a magnificently exaggerated release when the trick is finally performed. Pay no attention to the images on the screen. Yes, you guys at home, I wish you could see what David Pearl puts up to illustrate my words. It's really something. Oh yeah. Chicken, we're
Okay. I've got question for you.
All right, I shall stand.
Do you know anything about Popeye?
I know something about Popeye. Popeye the man.
Different colors of shirts and things.
That's a significant thing with Popeye.
Studios.
Yeah, the shirt is different.
Does the tattoo change arms and all? Or?
No, it doesn't.
Why is it that spinach affects Popeye immediately, while it usually takes 25 minutes to have drugs kick in for me? That's an excellent question.
Well, that is a good question. That's a fine and fair question. A question which it will be my great pleasure to answer. Yes, there's nothing like answering questions like this one. There you go. And be careful dismounting our stage.
The gravity is fierce in this area right here.
Yes, it is. Now let's go into this question with some thoroughness. Why is it that spinach affects Popeye immediately, while it usually takes me 25 minutes to have drugs kick in? I'll say right off that the main reason is that you, whoever wrote this question, are not Popeye. Have you ever noticed that everybody is different? That everyone has a different nose, a different set of eyes and lips. Oh, you can tell what the nose is and what the lips and eyes are if you're lucky. But everyone is different, and in the same way that we all differ through the contrivance and connivance of crafty old Mother Nature, we differ inside too. If we could see where our organs and the sheets of organic mesentery that hold them in their place are, we would see that our livers and kidneys and that sort of thing all individually differ just as much as our faces, hands, and bodies do, the outer parts that we can't see. And deeper still, our body chemistry is individually different. And that is how one old, toothless, squinty-eyed sailor can instantly react to spinach with a flurry of fury, and you can't. That is because the Almighty God of all things has not gifted you with this immediate reaction.
It's from Fred Garvin.
All right, we'll answer it anyway.
What is the appropriate way to drive a moped on a South Beach, Florida golf course?
All right, folks. These golf courses in South Beach are intricately maintained by the groundskeepers. They are some of the finest greens in the world. The 9-hole golf course at South Beach is visited by golf fans, fanatics, and aficionados from all over the country and all over the world. But one thing that the groundskeepers do not tolerate is a hippie on a moped tearing up the turf. Therefore, they will start pursuing said trespasser. And if they catch this hippie, they will not be sparing in the use of force to eliminate him, an element which does not belong from their serene scene. Dick?
Yeah, I have one question. I'd like to add, I think that the way you're supposed to ride a moped on a South Beach golf course is drunk. You know, I used to live in South Florida when I was a kid. I'm kind of from
You and Travis McGee.
West Palm Beach, Florida, and I gotta tell you, driving on golf courses is like, that's like the lowest thing that you can do.
I know. You
It's
don't
like
have to
the
get around
lowest, the worst thing that's like the lowest thing. It happens every weekend. Of course I did. We used to steal our parents' cars and drive out to the polo fields like as fast as we could, and then like just put on the emergency brake and
do donuts,
you know, around.
make holes, cause the horses to break their legs. Youthful hygiene.
Yeah. Okay, here's an important science question. Here it is.
All right, important science coming up.
Why is being called a douchebag so insulting when to most people a nice clean badge is such a wonderful thing? A nice clean badge, Hal.
I wouldn't debate that at all. But it seems that an elementary distinction is being avoided by this questioner? I could answer it by proposing another analogy. It often feels good, indeed it should feel good to go to the toilet, right? But it should never feel good, and it never does feel good to be a toilet. And it's the same with the douchebag. The result of its action is praiseworthy, but then one doesn't wish to use it until it is prepared for the next iteration. This is such a simple matter, I can hardly believe it really requires explanation. And whether you succeed or fail, at least you must not tell yourself at the end of the long day, when the sun goes down to eternal night, that you have never even tried. Of course, you still may be a failure, like some of us, but at least you will have tried. And above all, you should not waste your angst on drunken, bleary-eyed questions at the Ask Dr. Hal show, although we appreciate your interest in sending them our way. All that sort of thing. And you know, there's no answer. So you can just burn your brain out in thinking about things which cannot be answered. What you will eventually arrive at is an accommodation rather than an answer. You must make your peace with the unknown. And in doing so, you will prefigure that final mental activity which you will be enforced to undertake at the end of your life. Therefore, it is good practice. And let us not worry about the existence of the supernatural, about angels and demons. Let us worry about our own backyard and cultivate our gardens.